guys, this is Ariel Hacker here, and today I'm going to show you how to restore your iPod under the 3.0 firmware, and that is the new firmware for now. Well, actually, there is a newer firmware. I think it's 3.1.2, but see, the thing is, if you want that, you can go ahead and get it. But the reason most people download the 3.0 firmware is because it makes it illegible to jailbreak. So go ahead and just follow these steps and restore it. This is not the jailbreak video. I'll be making a jailbreak video soon, but this is just the first step pretty much to get your iPod jailbroken. Now this is my first video, so don't leave comments like you suck. So what you want to first do, you want to go to the link in the description, and you want to download the firmware, the 3.0 firmware for your iPod. I'm not actually going to have the iPhone in there, but I'm going to have the iPod first and second generation firmwares in there. If you want the iPhone or any other firmware, just leave it in the comments or personal message me, and I'll get to that. The two things you need pretty much are iTunes. Well, no, of course, you need iTunes and the firmware. The iTunes that you need to have is iTunes 9, which is the newest version of that, and I'm going to go ahead and click on it. It's actually nothing really new about it. It's normal, pretty much, but I don't know, I guess it did stuff to it. And while we're waiting, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to restore my friend's, actually, because he needs help with his, and his is the first generation. And, yeah, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in my iPod, and as you can see, it says right here, iTunes has detected an iPod in recovery mode. You must restore this iPod before it can be used with iTunes. Now, this might scare you, but actually it's a good thing. Okay, so just go ahead and click OK. Or, if your iPod doesn't really have that message, then it's alright. You just use it like this is your home screen right here. It'll say your iPod name, the capacity, software version, and serial number. Mine's in recovery mode, so it's not going to say that stuff, but yours should say this. So, once you want to restore it, you're going to go ahead and click restore. But before you do that, what you have to do, you click shift, and while you're holding shift, click restore. So that will bring you to a window that what this allows you to do is click where you want your to restore from. Okay, I'm tired, I'm sorry, it's kind of bad, but mine, as I showed you down here, it's on my desktop. Oh, hold on, let me exit out of this real quick. The firmware that you should have downloaded, you should have downloaded this down to your to your desktop. I was about to say Xbox for some reason. So once that's on your desktop, you go and you click Shift Restore, just as I showed you a second ago, and it should be looking desktop, and it'll say here iPod 1, 1 underscore 3.0 7A3. It'll say something like that. It depends on which iPod what you're restoring. So you're gonna go ahead and double click that, or just click it and press open, and then it'll say extracting software. And I'm gonna go ahead and keep this iPod up and show you what it's doing here. I can't see this, so I'm not sure what it's doing, but it says extracting software, so just wait for it and see what happens. Okay, so it's now, after it's extracting the software, it'll say preparing iPod for restore. Now the thing is, some people might get an error message that'll say you can't restore this. That should only come up if your iPod is updated to the 3.1.2 firmware and it's not on the 3.0. You're gonna have to downgrade, and there's a certain video on that, and I'm gonna make one like that, so that'll be coming soon. Ask me for that if you need a downgrade. Now it has a little apple right there. It'll say preparing iPod for restore. Now in a few seconds here, there should be a little bar that'll pop up under here, and it should restore. Now this will be the exact same thing as the iPod second generation, but I already told you this is the first generation. There you go, there's a little bar right there, and it should load. Screen says waiting for iPod.
Touch me, I am losing shade. Look, I am invisible, can you say my
In my experience, actually, first generation, I'm thinking goes slower, because I haven't had an iPod go this slow on the restore. And this is an 8 gigabyte. See it? I don't know if you can see that. But this is an 8 gigabyte, and usually I just restore people's iPods that are second generation in 8 gigabytes, and I don't have a problem. It goes really fast, actually. It takes about 5 minutes. But this one's taken a pretty long time. Alright, and after it does that, it's restoring. It'll say verifying iPod software. Almost done here. If anyone wanted to know, if they want me to like prove it to them, this is a first generation. The way I tell usually is the thickness, how it looks kind of like a square, and the Wi-Fi chip right here. It's kind of like a square almost. And on the second generation, it's like a oval shape. But actually, I'm just gonna get back to this because it's done almost, I think. The bar is fully full, but the iTunes is not. Restoring iPod firmware. Okay. And it just reboots. It says your iPod has been restored to factory settings and it's restarting. Please leave your iPod connected. It will appear in the iTunes window after it restarts. This message will appear in somewhat seconds and it'll count down. And that will reboot. As you can see, it's rebooting. And it gives a little status bar again. Should go away. And it usually will say connect to iTunes, but don't panic, it should go away. And there you see, if you heard that, that means that it rebooted properly. And it is done. Say accessing iTunes Store. Sorry guys if this video is bad, this is my first instructional video. It'll ask you to set up your iPod. You could restore from your backup or from a new one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and my friend's name is Jake, so I'm just gonna put Jake's iPod, and it'll give you these options. It should look a little different on second generation. It'll ask you to do it from a brand new iPod or from backup. So you just go ahead and click done, and I'll say sync in progress. After the sync is done, I'll say slide down lock. There's everything right here. See, this is what I was talking about here. A newer version of the iPod software is available, in quotations, version 3.1.2, to update your iPod with the latest software. Click update. If you want to, usually this costs money. I think it's like $6, but some people don't feel like paying, so they just go ahead and do this. If you already have the 3.0 software that I just gave you, it's free, of course. If you want to update it to 3.1.2, there is no jailbreak after that. There is one, but it's a hassle, and it's not really the best jailbreak out there. On my iPod, I kept mine on 3.0, and as you can see right here, it has a search bar. This is my iPod. I'll show you the other one right now, just to show you proof. There's a search bar and everything. But if you don't want to jailbreak your iPod, you can go ahead and update to 3.1.2. There's not really that big of a difference on there, but I mean, some people would want to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the same iPod. You can tell by the cracked screen, first generation. So I'm gonna slide to unlock, and it'll show you the little edit home screen thing. You can just go ahead and dismiss that. Since this is the first generation, usually on the second generation, it'll have something called voice memos. You can see it's right there. That's usually on iPhones, and but on the second generation, you can plug in a microphone to there. So that's why I have it on there. But here, the microphones, the iPhone microphones, don't work on here. So there's no point in having voice memos if you can't get a microphone. So there's everything here. And then when you go to the left, see there. Okay, there we go. That's the search, and if that's like what's on the iPhone, that's when you're on the home screen, you just click home and it'll bring you to the left. Click home again, it'll bring you that there. You can change the settings to that. I don't know if you can see that, but where it says how many pages there are, it says a little magnifying glass. That means that there's a search bar on the left as I went there. That's just pretty much it. If you want the restore for 3.0, there it is right there if you want more proof. Okay. Thanks for watching.